Next item is reports, presentations, communications, and appointments. Presentation of e-letter from Karen Rainey. Come forward.
Good evening. My name is Karen Rainey. I live at 8825 Fox Park Drive. I'm a volunteer with the City of Crestwood. I'm here tonight to inform you of a new service available to the residents of Crestwood, an email newsletter. A couple of months ago, I met with City Administrator Jim Eckridge to propose using an email newsletter to provide residents with information about city meetings, events, and volunteer opportunities. The sample newsletter before you and on the projector resulted from that meeting. This newsletter will be in addition to the printed publications already provided to the by the city to the residents. There will be no increase in cost to the city budget. The content will either be cut directly from these existing publications or provided by the city employees. I will be responsible for assembling the information and sending the newsletter on to the residents. The advantage of an email newsletter over a printed newsletter is that it can now be sent twice per month, directly before board meetings. As more people move away from the printed media to electronic communication, an email newsletter provides an additional means of informing residents in a convenient and quick format. The first issue to be published will be sent to residents serving as board and commission members, as well as to city staff, because these are the addresses we currently have on file and have access to. I will also be working with existing volunteer groups such as the Sappington House and Neighborhood Watch to add their members to the distribution list. The email newsletter will be announced in the printed newsletter and on the website with instructions on how to sign up to receive the newsletter. The city has provided me with a city email address from which to email the newsletter. Residents will only have to send an email to that address to be added or removed from the distribution list. The newsletter will be sent using the blind carbon copy option on your email, which will keep all addresses private and the whole list will not be able to see everyone's address. The other benefit to that is also that if someone decides to reply with a comment to me and they hit the reply to all button, it only goes to me. It doesn't go to the whole distribution list. Under this, I've also provided a sign-up sheet in the back of the room if anybody wishes to add their address at tonight's meeting. The newsletter will be of the same format each time. The sample one you've been provided is what would have been sent this past Friday. The initial mailing will have a welcome and explanation at the top. Once the newsletter is established, some of this information, such as how to sign up for the newsletter and how to be removed from it, will be moved to the bottom of the newsletter. The sidebar, the area in green, provides links and phone numbers to the various City Hall departments. It also provides links to various volunteer opportunities available in the city. That information will stay the same each time the newsletter is sent out. In the next 2 weeks heading, on the next slide, this obviously will focus on one-time events that are occurring in the next week. Single edition classes. For instance, on this, I have on here the Kirkwood Theater, the Crestwood Kirkwood Theater is performing this week. The next section is special events. This will be larger events that are happening further than 2 weeks out. Things people can put on their calendar, things we'd like to remind them of, such as the Light the City and the story time at the Sappington House. Both of these sections are cut directly from the newsletters that are already published. I've been provided with an electronic copy. I can just cut and paste this in, so all that information comes directly from those. The Aldermanic Meeting Review section will be a brief description of what happened at the past Aldermanic meeting and the topics to be covered at the next meeting, along with a link where they can connect to the official minutes and agenda. That section will be provided to me by city staff. The news bulletin section may or may not be included depending on if we have any news bulletins to issue. This one has to do with the change in the holiday trash pickup schedule. And the last section will be the volunteer opportunity of the week. Again, this will be submitted by city staff or by volunteer organizations such as Neighborhood Watch or the Sappington House, and I plan to rotate that section each newsletter to try and get more residents involved in our volunteer activities. I'd like to reiterate, because of the tough economic times, that this service will not increase the city budget. There's no cost to that. So at this time, if you have any questions, I'd like to thank you for listening, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.